This is the self-titled podcast of the Golf in Japan website, where you can check essential information in English about golfing in Japan, including more than 2,000 courses. We can help you book your round and make the whole process a whole lot easier. So check out golf-in-japan.com and start planning your Japan golf trip today.
Titleist Club Fitting, the fastest way to better. With a player-focused philosophy on fitting, Titleist offers a range of club fitting experiences from drivers to wedges. Your Titleist fitting specialist, thanks to an unmatched selection of products and technology, along with a wealth of fitting knowledge, will provide you with tour-quality fitting experience that can provide immediate benefits for your game. You can experience a fitting in English while in Japan. Just go to the Golf in Japan website and click on the Titleist banner. Or check the link in the description of this podcast. Titleist, the fastest way to better.
Okay, Golf in Japan. We're here back. I'm back from Osaka. Happy St. Patrick's Day from a week ago.
Yeah.
And you're wearing green today.
I am. And you didn't see the shoes either. I've got green Adidas shoes on as well. My middle name is Patrick too, so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Your family name is Irish, but you don't say it in the Irish way. You say it in a kind of an Aussie anglicised way.
Gorwin? How would you say it?
Gawkwin.
Gawkwin. Yeah, okay. I've been called everything under the sun over the years. Nobody can pronounce it.
Yeah, that's proof. That's proof it's Irish.
Yeah. Well, Cashel. Cashel. Cashel.
It couldn't be anything else, to be honest.
How do you say it?
Cashel.
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 Anyway, Ryan, how are you?
Doing good. Yeah, like I wanted to show Joe my my scorecard here.
Oh, you're a legend. Good
You don't see like
The par 3 scorecard?
You're gonna get your
birdie golf scorecard.
Oh, dear.
Does that say mini putt-putt?
Here it is. Okay, so
Actually,
all par threes.
This is the big boy course.
Did you see this?
Okay.
It looks legit. It looks like a real golf course.
Hang on, he's done really well.
He's got
No,
two
I
picks.
have not done really well. But
That's you, 44.
That's par 3 course, mate.
Yeah, so it's 7, 14. Sorry, 9, 18, 20, 27. That's not so it's averaging just over a bogey.
You know,
and you had a par?
right. So I went around 3 times on the nine. On the
Oh,
nine
sorry,
course.
they're all your three. They're three. It's not three people. It's three scores.
Yeah, that's me going around 3 times.
Wow, so 40.
Yeah.
So 13 over.
Yeah, and then
Second round.
The second time around, I made friends with a nice group of Japanese folk, and they had an open spot, and they're like, "Why don't you join us?" And so I went around with them, and I did not score the worst out of that group.
There you
So,
go.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
that's an
44,
accomplishment.
40, and 45.
Yeah,
And
So
they're proper par threes.
nothing exciting. I mean, actually, this was the hardest one that I've ever been to. Completely kicked my ass. Especially like the round 4. You can see it on this diagram here, but I talked with them about it before. But you're basically hitting it over this pond, and which I think is like I've been on courses where that's the way it was. Like when Damon and I played, and on those I just like I'll go down the hill and tee off from one of the simpler tees. But this one I could not get it over that pond.
Oh, I see. I see how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a 20-yard carry, mate.
It's a mental thing. You have to say
looks
there is
really-
no water. There is no water.
There's no water. Yeah. You just have to be ready to lose those balls, right? Because I lost like 4 balls. So.
There
It
is
looks
no
really
spill.
nice. Where is it?
That was Kanagawa, so
Okay.
down towards Yokohama. Sort of
Yep.
area.
It's good. Damon,
Very good.
konnichiwa. How are
Hey
you?
mate, all good, thanks. Very good.
The snow has melted, not everywhere, but the cherry blossoms. Today is the first day of cherry blossoms in Tokyo. Apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Have they started?
They've been around. Yeah, no, you can like
started, yeah.
I think there's like different variations. There's different types of the cherry blossoms. Like so, the pinker ones that are a little bit softer. I don't remember the name.
Momos.
Those are up, but then there's like the one that are a bit more white, like in Shinjuku Goen and stuff like Shinjuku Park. Like those aren't really up.
I mean, the weather on the weekend was mint, wasn't it? Like
So nice.
25 degrees yesterday.
yeah.
Saturday was just as
Yeah, it
good.
was too.
So
Yeah.
it's really the right season, the right temperature for the cherry blossoms to start coming out.
Sure is.
So today, Nagoya, Osaka, Kyoto, it's starting. And then it'll move north then, right? So Nagano, Sendai, Niigata, Akita, Aomori, and then up to Sapporo by May 12th, apparently. Where's the best golf courses, I hear you ask? I don't know. I have this list. I'm not sure how good it is.
Joe keeps touching my feet.
You stop touching each other.
Come on, Joe.
I haven't seen him for a week.
Joe, you're very
Mate.
spicy today. Zesty, as the kids would say.
I've told you before, not in public. Come on.
It must be an
Public
Aussie thing.
displays of affection. PDA.
Put like a rope between you two. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway, back to the topic.
Just getting all excited for a minute.
Has anyone got any good recommendations on golf and sakura?
To be honest, I mean, I've played a lot of courses with sakura, and I'm not saying this because you're here, but one of my best is Murasaki.
Murasaki Zuka. Yeah, I
Is
agree.
it the Satome? Which course is it?
Sao Tome number 2.
Yeah, that hole is just
all
totally
cherry trees.
lined with sakura.
What's the first hole of that 9? What hole? What is it? What is it? A par 4 or par 5? Because I only
It's a
remember
par
that.
4.
It's a par 4.
Par 4
down
dog
the
leg.
hill. No, it's not the dog leg. It's next to the dog leg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've even been there when, the wind's a little bit going and all the petals are just flying
Look up
through
each
the
other.
air and everything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just beautiful.
Magical.
Yeah.
There's that hole.
Yeah, no, it's just gorgeous.
Oh wow, jeez, that's impressive.
I've seen that photo.
That's on the
before, yeah,
website.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's just pink. Kind of, the cherry blossoms are a little bit, I don't know, they're not they're the actual cherry blossoms, but they're a little bit more pink than white.
So yeah, that means they're probably blooming soon then. Yeah. Those are the ones that go
It's still
first.
called, well, if the weather stays like it did this weekend, probably, yeah, they'll bloom very soon. That's the thing. Just a quick, around the shout out to Taka's course in Kanagawa Country Club. So I have a picture with cherry blossoms on it. They do have
He's
it.
got a lot of cherry blossoms out there.
Yeah.
Very picturesque.
And nice with the mountains. That new green. Kitanomori Country Club in Yamanashi. Kawana Golf Club, Oshima course has the cherry blossoms, which is the famous one. Chiba Brick and Wood.
That's something we need to talk about as well, Kawana, at some stage.
You got some juice?
Well, we might as well talk about it now. Have you seen the latest photos
No.
of it? So they've put. I'll show you later. They're putting in carts, drive
we
carts.
talked about this
did we
last
talk about
week.
this last week? Sorry.
Yeah.
You'll have to edit
I
that
wasn't
out.
there. Kind of want to hear.
Are you okay,
I'll-
mate?
Oh, they put. Sorry, I'm losing the plot.
Yeah.
having a senior moment. They put cart paths in there for your information.
You're
They
trying to
put
touch
cart-
my feet with your feet. I can see you. Stretch it over. Get over. Get over there.
They put carts in there, so they put cart paths all over the golf course, and it's a travesty.
no.
It's just a disgrace. It looks terrible. They've ruined.
It's like a junkyard. I mean, I don't understand this.
They've just ruined it.
They're
So
just like,
it's like a path, a concrete path about as wide as this table.
But wouldn't you say
I
that?
couldn't understand your
traverses
accent.
all over the golf
I couldn't
course.
understand your accent. You were saying cart paths,
Cart path.
not parts. It sounded like you were saying cart parts.
Sorry.
Like they're just like leaving
Path.
bumpers and
Path.
things.
When me and him played there last year, myself and Damon went up, and it was really hot. I would have given anything for a golf cart to take me up those hills and get a bit of wind in my hair.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd say like the average golfer over there is kind of more older, maybe retired. It's up and down golf course, and it's really hot in the summer, so you'd need the golf cart. I'm just saying. But you don't have to build golf. You don't have to wreck the.
Well, that's a thing. I mean, there's a lot of golf courses here which have got like a strip of concrete either side for just the wheels, but this is actually a path,
Right.
You know, a concrete cart path that's
It's a shocker.
1.5 meters wide and goes
Somewhere
all
where
over the
your
golf
ball
course.
can
Sorry.
take a bounce from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's good. Kosokadoro.
But I'll show you the photos later on. Ben Warren sent them to me.
Yeah,
and
no,
it's-
he said that. Yeah,
Benny?
he must be crying.
It's like drawing a mustache on the Mona Lisa, is what he said.
Yeah.
That's what they've done to it, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
But I agree. When I saw the photos, it's a travesty. Anyway,
That's a travesty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently, the Oshima course, they haven't messed with that. It's full of cherry blossoms. Brick and Wood, client of ours. Shout out to Brick and Wood.
Brick and Wood, nice,
very-
nice golf course.
Very, if you've got a car, you can nip over to Chiba and play sometime this week. And the weather will be nice, I think, from Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, highly recommend that place.
Saitama Prefecture, Musashi Mori Country Club. Anyone heard of that one? Never heard of it.
Yep, I have. Yep.
Yep. Okay. And Gunma, Ho-Oh Golf Club. Yeah, it actually looks like it's kind of like Murasaki. The whole place is cherry blossoms. Very good. And then we have Airs
I'm
and
gonna-
Tochigi.
Taheo Yachio, I've got to get that in there. You guys gave me a little bit of a hard time a few episodes ago that I was mentioning Taheo too often, but I've been good. But I've got to get it in there. Taheo Yachio, the 15th hole.
Okay.
Which is a really tough par 4, dogleg right, and all down the left hand side towards the putting green of the cherry blossoms. Really nice.
I've got to say, there's probably very few courses in Japan that don't have
that's
cherry
true.
blossom
That's true, actually.
is true.
trees
Yeah.
on the
Right.
course.
Yeah,
And
we
you can
put-
really see it now, even though they've got no leaves, no petals or anything. They're just bare, but they're cherry blossom trees.
Right.
And when their blooms can just be going to be gorgeous.
Yeah, we planted them there at Katemba when they did the renovation in 2018. They brought in a truckload of them and planted them in specific spots around the golf course. So now they look great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What was the name of that golf club where we did the golf heads, where we did the barbecue?
Shinsan Seiso.
Yeah, Shinsan Zenso. That's an amazing.
It's a tongue twister. Shinsan Seiso.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Shinsan Zenso.
So.
Yeah. Sally sells
I love that
seashells
golf course.
on the seashore.
By the seashore.
By the seashore, is it? Okay.
Peter pick up.
Island green. It's got the island green. Kind of a couple of holes look linksy.
Tokyo.
Namamugi, namegome, namakome, tamago.
You're trying to make it. You challenge me with my editing skills today. Gone. Cut. Okay. All right. So that's it for our one last one. Ibaraki Ocean Golf Club and Shinzanso, which is also in Ibaraki.
Okay. Before we go on, I've just got to shout out to someone that you introduced me to.
Okay.
Joe. John Bow.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Bow.
So he's booking around with us on the golf partner service. So we're going to take him out and have a day. And he started to listen to our podcast.
Oh, did he?
And he just thinks
God
it's,
love him.
yeah, is like
sorry.
listen to your podcast today for the first time. Super entertaining, great stuff. Going to start from the very beginning and check out all the episodes.
Oh, that's nice. Shout out to John. Thanks for the support.
Going to take a while. Yeah, good on him.
So looking forward to catching up with you, mate.
Where are you playing?
In June. I think we're going up to the Narita Golf Club.
Oh, terrific.
that's nice.
Nice golf course.
Beautiful course.
Yeah, good.
Very good.
Cool.
Okay. To the normal course of business. So we're flying around the Kagoshima. What do you call down that area? The
Is that Kyushu?
Kyushu.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Not Kagoshima. Kyushu. And this week we're going to Nagasaki. So Nagasaki, Joe.
Which, once again, I've never been to. I don't get out of Tokyo much. But no, I've never. I just had a look. Yeah.
But yeah, all I know that it was very famous for. It was one of the first trading routes that was set up by, I think, the Portuguese. So they have all famous Portuguese things like the Castella, the cake, which comes from Portugal. So the best Castella you can buy is down in Nagasaki.
That's where all the early Christians were as well, right? Like,
That's right. They have all these inlets, and they had secret churches because the samurai cut your head off if you were Catholic. So
Really?
they have all these, they're all like in remote islands, little churches and Catholic stuff. Interesting, isn't it?
It also has that famous. Have you guys heard of Gunkanjima? That's not the official name for it, but there's this
Gunkanjima.
island called. I think you've probably seen photos of it. There's a James Bond movie where the villain lives in this like deserted island, and it's all like this like a kind of like a looks like a post-apocalyptic kind of wreckage, but it was a real island that was managed by it was a coal mining island, and then suddenly in the 70s they were like, oh, we're not no need to mine coal anymore, so they just shut it down like overnight almost, and then everyone went and jumped up, but it's a pretty popular tourist destination, and it is kind of like what's the word? I want to say magical, but it certainly is kind of surreal. Like if you check it out, Gunkanjima. Gunkan means battleship. It looks like a battleship island. But that's off the coast of Nagasaki as well. Very coastal city, like you said, with all the foreign influence and import. Like the only place to do import and export for many years.
Yeah, it has a strong connection to China as well. So they have the 17th century Kofu Kuji Temple. Have you heard of that one?
No, big Chinatown though, I guess, right? So.
Yeah, and apparently that's the biggest kind of attraction over there. And of course, we got a lot of. I'm just reading off our guide on which you can find on Golf in Japan. If you go /Nagasaki, you can find it on the right hand side. Yeah, there's a lot of obviously with the World War II. There's a lot of shrines and peace zones and zones of learning and this kind of thing. Hope, a zone of hope, a zone of prayer, and a zone of learning. There you go, related to the memorial there.
Was Nagasaki hit first or second?
I don't know.
I think it was his second. Yeah.
Could I even ask why did they do two? Because if you did one and you'd seen the destruction, you'd just go, well, two.
I don't know. I think I can't remember if we were talking about this last week or not, or someone else, but someone was saying that there was, if Hiroshima was first, whichever way around it was, there's this one guy that was in the first one, and then he moved to Nagasaki and got hit there as well. And survived both of them.
I think there's a movie about that too, right? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I know.
Damn.
It's a bit unlucky, isn't it?
And I don't know.
It's like getting hit by a golf ball twice or something.
Only
Doesn't
3 days
happen
apart.
Like
3 days
this.
apart on
Oh, 3
August
days
6th
apart.
and then August 9th. And then Hiroshima was
Well,
first.
maybe
Very
so
sure
they
it
didn't surrender.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Well,
Right.
take another one then.
Mm.
Well, Nagasaki was the first.
Hiroshima
Hiroshima.
was the first.
Hiroshima. Crikey. Okay.
Mm. Anyway.
Okay, we'll move on.
Oh,
Shippopaku is a banquet-style dining experience presenting assortment of Chinese, Japanese, and Western delicacies laid out on a circular table. You know, the one where you...
Oh, yeah.
So it's like the influence
Well,
from China.
the lazy Susan. Is that what
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah. You spin it. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they have Nagasaki geisha as well, their own
Yep.
version
Okay.
of geisha. So they have like that kind of cultural thing. So it is a bit more kind of international, I suppose.
Mm.
Okay, and what's take back? We mentioned the castella. So the castella is apparently, is it what you call a pound cake?
I think it's got like a sponge cake, yeah?
It's kind of a pound cake. Well, where I come from, it's a pound cake. It's kind of a moist cake.
Apparently it's different in Japan, though. Like, I've never had a
Yeah.
proper Spanish or
Well,
Portuguese
the one I'm looking at has
but-
matcha and it's green.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like softer. They make them softer in Japan?
Starbucks does a good El Castella.
Do
Gives
they?
you an El quarter of one. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a ring.
Mm.
Or maybe I'm thinking of something different. Anyway. Okay, golf courses. Damon, tell me. Where's good?
You go first.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was looking at the...
He'll check your answers. Yeah.
So what we have, and then what... Because I always check on a very reputable Japanese golf website just to see
do.
what's the most popular for Japanese.
What's the
Should I go
Japanese
number
website
one
called?
first? Okay, number one is Huiten Bosch Country
Yep.
Club.
Yep.
Same?
Yep.
Okay, Huiten Bosch. I'm presuming that's not Japanese. Looks German.
Mm.
Nomozaki Golf Club. Unzen Golf Club. Nagasaki Park Country Club. Passage Kotomi Golf Club. Sasebo International. There we go.
Yep.
Got a Kokusai. And Goto Country Club. They're the top 7.
Yep. And about half of those are unfortunately not bookable for inbound tourists.
Oh, really?
Nagasaki's a little bit...
Really? Are they very private or they don't want foreigners?
Well, that's interesting because
both.
it's such an international place that they probably have like, kind of come full circle, and they're kind of like, look, like we've got areas for it.
Yeah.
But not
I
here.
think it's more, again, it's not like they don't want foreigners, it's they don't speak English, and therefore if we can't give a great service, we can't take them type
Or
of
they're
thing.
a member course.
Yeah, it's probably more the
The
former, yeah. But otherwise, you mentioned Sasebo Kokusai. So Sasebo is just a little bit north of the city, and that's a great golf destination. And a lot of our customers seem to be gathering up that end and playing a lot of great courses there.
Okay, cool. And Huiten Bosch, am I saying it right?
Yep, yeah, it's just on the east side of Nagasaki.
And you can play there.
Yep.
That's the one that has
available.
the mega clubhouse, right?
Yeah, it's a
That's
good club, yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. You had to get there 7 hours by Shinkansen. Do we agree with that? Or an hour and 50 minutes to Nagasaki Airport?
It can't
from
be
Haneda?
7 hours, is it?
That does make sense.
Well, Osaka takes.
Yeah, it could be. Fukuoka's quite far, so
It is actually.
Yeah.
So Nagasaki.
yeah. It's probably a norikai, which means like a transfer.
That's why.
But you're
yeah.
probably better to get the old Thunderbird down.
So you go to Hakata and then you switch maybe.
Probably.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, even that from Hakata Station, which is even in the area, is 2 hours to get to a certain. So I mean, yeah, I guess
well worth
you
it.
get slowed down.
If you're doing a bit of a trip in Japan and you're going through Osaka, I think it's well worth to keep going. Hiroshima,
oh
then
yeah,
go down to those areas. It's just beautiful.
like you said too, they're
Off the
so
beaten
well known
path.
for the food too. There's so much
Food is good
up and
there,
down there.
yeah.
Yeah. Plus, there's Nagasaki Airport. So
Called me very Western this is a very Western comment or a very non-Japanese comment. But you can always judge a prefecture of Japan when you go in and have an egg sandwich from the convenience store. They taste different in Osaka. So I was in Osaka last week, right? And I was like, oh my God, it tastes so much better.
Better?
Tokyo, yep. And then I was talking to a few people about it and they were like, oh, the more south you go, the better the egg sandwich from the convenience store.
You're talking about it's the same sandwich in the same convenience store. It changes from...
Yeah, so they're obviously sourcing them locally
I
or
see.
in different regions have their own
Okay.
More
producer.
mayo or something.
It's just
Yeah.
a little bit more. There's a little bit more
Older.
salt infused. It was a little bit more tasty.
a little less factory. You know, like
Well,
the
that's
Yeah.
what I
smaller
reckon they are
factory. kind of
factory.
thing.
I don't reckon they taste like anything here, the egg sandwiches in convenience stores.
In Tokyo,
Yeah.
Oh, it's just I mean, how many are they
You
producing a
don't?
second? You know?
No,
You don't
I
like
reckon-
them?
They're okay, but they just don't taste like a lot.
No.
Eggs are good here, right?
Yeah,
They're not
I agree.
expensive. They're not expensive.
Well, considering that they serve them to you raw as well, they have to be good.
That's true.
I mean, some restaurants and things.
Japan's probably the only place I would eat raw eggs.
100%.
Yeah,
I trust the eggs here.
yeah.
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 That's true. You know, when you're doing sukiyaki and
Yeah.
you pour
Yeah.
everything and you're basically eating it raw. I love it.
100%.
So good on sukiyaki.
They've had a few like salmonella outbreaks and stuff like that, but it's always been for like meat or frozen gyoza or
That was only
stuff like
McDonald's.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Anything dodgy, the food, it's always McDonald's, isn't it? Do you remember that someone's finger was in a chicken nugget?
Yeah, I
up in
remember
Gumma?
something like that. Yeah.
I used to live near there. That's how I know about it, because it was like that was the one that some
Show me your hands.
sneaky guilty pleasure. I might have Big Mac and chips every now and again, like
Okay.
once in 5-10 years, and that was the McDonald's I used to go to.
Really?
That's
That's how I know
disgusting.
about it,
How
yeah.
could you find a finger? How would a finger even get in there?
Oh my God.
And I was thinking that's just someone made it up or whatever. And they're like,
Yeah.
no. Turns out one guy in the factory had lost a finger, and they just kept it rolling.
And it went in the nuggets.
It went to the nuggets.
They're full of lips and assholes anyway.
It was like the
too.
tip of his finger. It was like the tip of his finger.
I don't
It
think there's
wasn't the
any
whole
chicken in there,
finger.
right?
I don't think so.
No.
It was like say half from about half of your
Okay.
nail.
Yeah.
It was like like
I remember
2
a
or
few
3
years
centimeters.
ago, I don't know if you remember it, there was a bit of a gyoza scandal.
Yeah.
Gyoza is
yeah.
like the dumplings.
Yeah.
And it was actually coming from a neighboring country. I won't name it. But there was actually, it's meant to be like a bit of
China.
a minced meat in there, right? With shallots and all that type of stuff. There was no meat in there whatsoever. And I actually found out it was cardboard.
No.
And it was so popular in
boy.
Japan. And they were selling thousands of them.
Cardboard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember that one. I remember it was like people were getting sick off of gyoza, but the cardboard, yikes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
They were selling boxes of them.
Hey, hang on. Wow. Okay. Well, that's that conversation descended pretty quickly. Probably my fault. Shout out to McDonald's. Everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Mickey D's.
Today's sponsor.
Well, at least in Japan, it does look like the picture, though. When you look up at it and they have a picture of the
That
burger,
is so true.
comes in the box, it looks
That is
exactly
so
like
true.
it advertised.
All the food in Japan's like that, though.
Didn't they put up the price for the first time in a few years?
What's 110 yen now?
No, it's gone up to like 680 yen or
Oh,
something
what, for a Big Mac?
For a Big Mac, which is probably still like a quarter of the price anywhere else in the world. But still,
Yeah.
there you go.
Greg Norman used to be sponsored by McDonald's back in the day in the
Is that
80s
right?
when he was the number one player in the world. He had the big,
Didn't they?
the golden arches on
Before
his,
there
on his
was
chest.
the first tee, McDonald's used to do something around kids golf.
Yeah, they could. Actually, there's a really good player
remember that?
here in Japan who's sponsored by McDonald's as well. I can't remember his name. He's on the senior tour. He won a lot on the regular tour. But they're still sponsoring.
It was
I
like,
don't know.
Do you remember it was
other
called the
than-
Ronald McDonald First Tee or something like that? And then
Yeah, well,
this is
I
before the
do
first
remember
tee.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
so they were involved in golf. But
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not so much now.
No. Anyway, what else have we got going on, Joe? It's time for talking
Little bit of
about
golf.
some golf.
Yeah, actually, the Japanese players had a really good week this, around the world. They played really well. So I'll go through it. The ladies played here this week, of course. I think it's their second event of the year. The guys haven't started yet. They played the V-Point tournament at Murasaki Country Club in Chiba, and Yuri Yoshida won it. She won it by 9 shots. It was only a 3-rounder. Rio Takeda didn't win it, but it's only because she didn't play. I reckon.
She's going to the.
She's in the US, I think. I
going
think
to
she's
the US,
concentrating
yeah.
on the US.
Yeah.
So, Yui Kawamoto, one of my favourites, finished third at 3 under, but
Great
Yuri
singer.
just killed him. She really played really, really well.
That's very Tiger-esque, isn't it? 9 shots.
Yeah, I mean, 9 shots, shot 68, 64 in the first. I mean, she shot 71 in the last round, which is one of the worst scores of the ladies up the leaderboard, and still won by 9. So phenomenal playing. We'll go to the US, the Valspar Championships at the Copperhead course. Victor Hovland, the Hov is back. I had a message from Tim Beck, who's a friend of mine, an Australian friend of mine, who said the Hov is back. A week ago, he shot 80, I think, in the second round at the Players' Champs and was whinging about how bad his game was. And he's come in here and he's beaten Justin Thomas. He's birdied 16 and 17 he won by 1 in the end from Justin Thomas, who unfortunately actually made a really good bogey on 17 to lose by 1 in the end. But it's a really good event. I mean, he's the guy that won the Tour Champs It's only a few years ago, and then decided to completely redo his golf swing, and
Why
he
did
just
he
fell
do
off
that?
fell off the planet.
So many people have done that.
I don't quite know. I was listening to his interview afterwards. It was really quite interesting, him talking about that he's still got a lot of bad golf in his golf swing at the moment, but this week he timed everything up. His timing was good, hence, he wins a tournament. And they said, how do you think you're going to fare in the Masters coming up? And he said, actually, the way, if I summarize it, he sort of said, not particularly well. He doesn't expect to play well around at the Masters. So really interesting comments.
I remember he was very honest about his chipping. He couldn't chip.
Couldn't chip. Yeah,
and
he couldn't.
And then he became like an amazing chipper.
Yeah, then he went over to Joe Mayo, who's a little bit of a psycho. He's a good coach. Both of them are a little bit mental, these two guys, and they've got together and broken up and got together and broken up again. And now he's with Grant Waite, who is Joe Mayo's partner. And he's with him. And he was a terrible chipper, and he became a really good chipper. And then if you watch his chip into the last, he bogeyed the last hole to win by 1. He hit it short of the green and hit a shocking chip. For a world-class player to hit this sort of shot, it was off a relatively tight lie, very simple sort of chip, and hit it to 20 feet. Luckily, he could make bogey on the last hole to win by 1 and sort of putted up there and knocked it in and won by 1. But
sounds like my golf. I'm shocking at chipping. I used to be really good, didn't really think about it, just used to knock it up around the hole. Now I'm like, I have to hit a 9 iron, I'm hitting it from everywhere.
Yeah,
just running it up there.
Yeah, it's a part of the game that a lot of people struggle with, and he's never been a good. But he's adequate now. But I think Tim is right. Golf is better when Hovland is around because he's interesting. He's a really interesting interview, and he's well thought, and he's a smart cat, and
he's Norwegian, right?
He is.
But he has a very strong American accent.
Yeah, he went to one of the universities for golf, and he was a bit of a phenom coming out and played really well straight out of university, and he was going up and up and up, won the tour championships, and then, as I said, tried to retool his game and fell off the planet, couldn't do it anymore. And now he's back, which is good. So,
for him.
What was a really cool story about this is Ryo Hisatsune, who we've been following around a little while, tied 4th at 8 under. So good on you. Ryo did really well. He was on television a little bit too, which he's never been on television on the US tour yet because he's never been high enough up the order. But he did really well. And Kaito Onishi also, I think he made his first cut of the year, finished tied 42nd. Kanaya and Hoshino both missed the cut. Katie Nakajima came second on the European tour. They played the DP World Tour and called the Singapore Classic at Laguna National, they've got 2 golf courses there. This golf course is maybe the hardest golf course I've ever played. Richard Mansell from the UK won at 16 under. Katie Nakajima came second at 15 under. And I watched the finish. Katie made birdie on the last hole, par 5, knocked on only 2, great 2-putt. And Mansell actually made a birdie on the last as well to beat him by a shot. But that was good to watch him, and he played really, really well down the stretch. I think he had 7 under in the last round, which was good. And
he's
Yuto,
a great player.
He's a great player. Yeah, they've got big raps on him too. The commentators were talking about it. They know how good he's going to be. So this is a stepping stone, I think, eventually for him to go to the PGA Tour. I would expect him to maybe finish in the top 10, like a couple of the players. I think Shino finished last year.
He's already won on the European Tour, right? He won last year. Remember we talked about
it was it one of them in Japan, the one in Japan, or maybe it was overseas?
It was overseas, yeah.
Great player. Yuto Katsuragawa finished tied 6th. He was the kid that won the Taheo Masters a couple of years ago.
That tiny little guy.
Yeah. And Liv, not really Liv, it's the International Series, which is the Asian Tour co-sanctioned with Liv.
Coming to Japan.
Played in Macau, and Carlos Ortiz won by 3 shots over Patrick Reed.
I watched that. It was quite good.
Yeah, it was good.
I was actually watching more of the creators part of it. There's a few of them
Luke
playing.
Kwan played in it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Made the cut, I think, on the number and then shot 67 in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
He finished 5 under. I saw how much he won. He won almost 12,000 US.
Yeah, which is
so
not
did
bad.
really well.
Yeah. Considering his first round, I think he finished 2 over or 3 over.
He finished 2 over
Yeah.
and then it was 67 in the 2nd round. Then had a good 3rd round and then 1 over par in the last round. But that's pretty cool. And actually, I think you can see all of it on YouTube. I think he's got somebody's taking video of him.
Do we know anything about? So they're coming to Japan in May.
100%. 8 to 11.
Right?
Yeah.
They mentioned, they've
Caledonian.
Caledonian.
They've announced
So there's about
great golf course.
15 live players going to be playing in it.
Oh wow!
So they haven't released all the names, but we know that it's going to be Lucas Herbert and Harold
Varner as well. And other than that, we're not sure.
Yep.
Actually, the one in Macau they had some good players.
That course looked really good, actually.
Yeah, up and down the hills. And
wow, it looks so good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, narrow.
Have you played there?
No, I haven't.
No.
But I watched it. They used to play one of the Asian Tour events. Used to be always. It was probably just the Macau Open. And a friend of mine, Scott Barr, who was one of the teaching pros at SICC in Singapore, played in it a whole bunch of times. He actually came second at Colin Montgomery one year, so he knew it because it was always being televised on TV. So I know the golf course quite well.
some of
But
the
it looks pretty
holes
cool.
look
I've played it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
You've
Oh, you
played
played
there.
there?
I played it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I played I want to say Turkish Airlines, but it could have been another airlines, maybe one of the European ones, their corporate day or whatever. And it was really hard golf course, but amazing. Planes are flying like very
Are
close.
they? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really liked it. I remember the PGA Tour had an event there, right? A senior tour event.
Yeah, probably.
And then there was another
Yeah.
one where it was I remember Brooks Koepka won.
Oh, yeah.
Over Ikeda
Yeah.
back in the day. Yeah, but anyway, it's a great golf course. I'm sure they're going to allow punters on. So it's 8th to 11th of May.
Yeah.
Prize fund $2 million. Not scabby, is it?
No, it's not. It's not too bad. So the one in, the one in Singapore was 2.5. But yeah, that's okay for a. So it's co-sanctioned. So like you said, we've got 15 players from the Live Tour will come and play with the Asian Tour guys. So
there'll be a couple of Japanese players playing.
always.
I fancy a couple of them.
I think there was about 10 playing in this event in Macau. So I think it's co-sanctioned between Live, Asian Tour, and the Japan Tour.
Yep.
Let's go.
It looked really well done.
Yeah, I agree. Good looking golf course. So.
So is there another one in between the one in Caledonian in May? Or that's it?
A Live event or a
Another
international series? Not sure.
Yep. Okay.
Not sure.
All right. What about can I jump
Go
in?
ahead.
TGL. The playoffs have started or about to start. Do you know
Have they?
when?
No idea.
No.
Sorry. No, either do
I have not followed it at all since the first couple of. Well, we talked about that.
It's starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. Okay.
Yep.
And
The
you can
semi-finals.
You can watch it on Unext, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's major though, because that's when they'll finally get the payout, right? So this is when they're finally going to be making money, because they don't make money per match, right? It's like a build up
is
towards
it?
the end of the playoffs. That was my understanding. Correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong, but so I mean the playoffs seem like that would be a big deal, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
TGL.
Yeah. I do you think that they eventually, because remember we were talking to Travis last 2 weeks ago, we were asking him, does he think that TGL will come to Japan? And they said yes. Because I heard they're going to rip it a new one for the next season. So they're just getting through it on this format, and I heard that it's going to be completely changed. Creators are going to come in. It's going to be all sorts of different things.
Okay.
Who was talking about that? Was it the Good Guys?
No, the good guys have bought or invested in a team.
Right. So they're so they kind of realize it's kind of not failing, but it's definitely not very popular.
Sure.
And so they're pumping it up and saying, no, we're involved now, and we're going to make sure it's good.
I just read something on Good actually, that they've just had a third party investor come in
Really?
with 45 million US.
Jesus.
But, so who is good now?
So the I think there's 4 or 5 of them. So you've obviously got Garrett.
Garrett's someone that looks like Grant, tall, thin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay.
And then Matt Scharf and Bobby. They're the main 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is Garrett Clark. Did you guys know
Yeah.
him?
Okay. Yeah.
Micah Morris, Matt
Oh,
Sharp.
Michael Morris not there
okay.
anymore.
Oh, not that, yeah,
No,
he's by
no,
himself.
no.
Yeah.
He's now a full Titleist.
He is too. Yeah.
Team Titleist now.
Yeah.
Yep. He's going for his PGA card and everything.
Is he? Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, 45 million.
It's a lot
So
of money, isn't
they're obviously gearing up to do a lot.
45 million, like,
They're already worth probably that and more, I'd imagine.
it's crazy. Aren't they're endorsed
amazing.
with Callaway, are they?
Yep, 100% endorsed by Callaway.
Oh, okay.
They even, all their clubs have got their logos on it now.
Yeah.
Callaway balls.
Is Callaway the biggest? Did you tell me that Callaway was the biggest golf brand in Japan in terms of sales?
Oh, I don't. I thought. Well, actually, I don't know.
Does.
Sales
have to be
volume.
It wouldn't
Bridgestone or
surprise me.
Strixon or something, wouldn't it?
That's what I would have thought. Would have Mizuno or something
Yeah.
like would have done it, but apparently it's Callaway.
Okay.
There are a lot of players sponsored by Callaway on the tours here.
Yeah, they are. If they're not a Japanese brand, they're generally Callaway. I mean,
Yeah,
Titleist doesn't have a big presence
This
on
is
the men's tour or the women's tour. Yeah, unfortunately.
this is that Dunlop is the largest market shareholder perhaps.
Because Dunlop has all the brands.
Right.
All the other brands, Lexio and
That makes sense.
yeah. But going back to
We're
Callaway,
going over it tomorrow.
That's right.
Callaway, they're the first ones to get into the like the creators and
They were,
and everything like that, and with Top Golf, everything they did. They were so like entrepreneurial,
visionary.
Visionary. It's just really good what they've done. For the game.
That's true. Yeah, those Top Golfs make a ton of money for them, don't they?
I went to one in Florida a couple of years ago. It was the first one I've been to. I couldn't believe it. That is a money-making machine. So you walk in, they've got merchandise, and then, of course, you go and hit golf balls and eat chicken wings and drink beers, and they've also got a sports bar, and the sports bar was packed.
Are you talking about the Top Golf?
Yeah, Top Golf. So the sports bar would have had, 100 people in it. Everybody, they've got big TV screens everywhere watching golf and American football and all sorts of things, and there was more people in there than probably hitting golf balls. And it wasn't necessarily people doing both. People would actually just go there for dinner.
And that's kind of thing what golf courses in Japan are like trying to start to do, because they know they can't just attract golfers. So they want to attract like the spouse that can stay in a spa or do something else at the same time. The same with Top Golf, like you said, people going just for the restaurant or go to the sports bar while their mates are out there having a hit.
They do functions, like they'll have band, they'll do weddings and stuff.
Yeah.
So then people are coming in and, experiencing golf for the first time, and then who's there? Callaway.
Yeah, for sure.
Callaway that was great. I'm going to buy myself a set of clubs.
Yeah.
I'd love one to be here, but it's just the market's so different.
They tried and failed.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing if they did it, though?
Yeah, they've only done the driving ranges.
Bus.
Yeah, that's true.
You need a what?
A booze bus, someone to take you there and take you back.
Take you back.
True,
yeah.
Shout out to those guys that we went to that have the bar over in Nantuka Country Club.
Oh, Kagurazaka Country Club.
Kagurazaka Country Club. So it's like a bar overlooking a couple of screens. So you can have a few drinks, watching people hit, or you can go in and rent a booth for a while and have some. And they have a terrace. You can have a
I saw
barbecue.
that. You've already put it on. Was it Instagram?
Yeah.
It's on Golf in Japan as well. So if you go to golf,
I saw that. That was really good.
It's on there as well.
We definitely
need to put it under ranges though, because it is kind of like a range. It's a simulator range.
That's the thing. If it sits underneath both, right? It goes you could go as a simulator, and then but you can actually go and just rent out a booth for an hour and just hit balls.
Right.
And they'll just put it on and off you go.
They do lessons and they do. You could go there and practice. You could go there and have fun. Like they also do the fittings, so you can. You could do Muta fitting there. Check it out.
I actually got a DM yesterday. Or I want to pull it up and show you guys, but before that, please continue.
Oh, yeah. I was curious about with Topgolf, like why wouldn't it work in Japan? And it's like, is there just not enough space? I mean, it seems like they're big. When I've only seen them on YouTube or whatever, but it seems like they're huge. You need to be able to have this extension of that and that. And in Japan, it needs to be, just like the space just needs to be so consolidated.
Yeah, I think that definitely that's one issue, space, and how much revenue you can bring in with the amount of space that you have, and then things like that. But it's also the culture is different. Japanese people don't go to a sporting event or do sport and drink.
No.
At all. I mean, that's quite relevant at the golf courses and stuff as well. They might have a sake or a beer or something through lunch or whatever, but as they're playing, it's not.
It's because they're driving home too, though, right?
And that's the other thing. Japan 0% tolerance for alcohol drink driving. So
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to mention this. So remember I went with Jacob we actually went to Fuji Kagosaka and we played, and then he had putters and all sorts of stuff that he was getting from Japan. He just sent me this. He said, I just got a wedge custom made in Japan, Muragaken. It's got the MG on it. He paid $1,000 for this. So I just wanted to show you guys. Look at the shaft on this thing. Can you see that?
Oh, that's pretty groovy, isn't it?
Yeah, so he came over here and he got custom fit, and then he's gotten these shafts that are even coated in this washi paper.
Wow.
It's pretty good, isn't
Where
it?
did he get that?
I don't know, but I mean, all the golf shops can do this kind of thing. You just have to.
That guy's tatted up, man. He's got
some cool tats. Actually,
does too.
Have you seen those like the seals you put on the shaft?
Yeah, that was really popular a few years ago, where you could wrap the shaft. In certain.
They're only a
designs.
couple of bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that he had a what do you call those putters that look like the?
Lab golf.
The lab putter. I was going to say that the artist formerly known as Lab. Yeah, so he had one of them, and he had the washi paper on the shaft, and he was like, "Look at this!" And he had a gold one, then he had a black one, and pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I found a place that sells them on the internet.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
If you turn up with any of those on your shaft, we're not playing golf together.
you can customize them pretty good.
Yeah, you can.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And tastefully, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you can change them out or whatever. Put Joe's face on it or anything like that.
I'm actually even coming around to the gold golf clubs.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
what,
Hell
Honma?
yeah.
I don't know. I seen
Sorry.
gold.
Gold?
Gold.
Let's go. Gold.
Like a
Bullion.
gold head, like some of that Honma stuff, or
Yeah.
gold shafts, or yeah.
With that lacquered inlay on because it's a cavity and it has this lacquered inlay with gold on it. Gold leaf artists have done it. I think it's cool. It's a bit bling bling.
It is a little bit.
I think
I like gold.
I think if you're a good player, you could get away with it. So I don't know, Kieran.
Also, if you're an older guy, you can get away with it too. Yeah.
It's like a designer thing, right? So if you're going to buy a watch, right, you can buy a Casio,
Yeah.
right, or you can buy a Rolex.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. That's
Or-
the gold one on today.
3,000 yen on
Gold on
Temu. Right? Does my blood pressure. Or it's like, you buy a pair of jeans, you can buy Armani, you can buy a crappy pair, whatever, Ferrari or a Golf, right? Performance, you can buy a car that's cheaper that'll have it. It's about the aesthetic,
Sure.
Sorry,
The
are you
swag,
trying to
the
convince
swagger.
us or yourself?
Yeah. You're
Actually,
talking
those
himself
golf
into
clubs
it.
go nice with that watch, mate.
No, I watch gold watch. I'm good with gold clubs. Can't do it. Especially the way I blade them around the
Joe,
green.
you know what we have to do though? We have to we have to have a shot of these things to see what the performance is like. Because apparently the performance is really good.
So, what manufacturer are we talking about?
Majesty.
Okay. Yeah, I know Majesty. Yeah.
Yeah. So I put a little video up on Instagram and stuff of the golf fair, and they were in it. And
Yeah, they're very expensive and
they look sick.
they're kind of gaudy looking things, aren't they? Like,
The driver's a bit gaudy.
Is it?
Because I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I couldn't have it where the head is gold.
sure.
But, like you've got kind of like steel or black clubs within the back and the inlay, there's that little bit of flash.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be able to look at a gold club down on a thing. And the shafts are gold as well. Gold leafed.
Yeah, that's a big step, I think.
I want to try. I want to see what the performance is like. I think they're good.
Oh, look, I think they're okay. Yeah, I'm sure they are. All the manufacturers build good clubs these days.
No, the other day I saw a gold golf ball somewhere. Is that
that's just wrong.
Yeah, you see that occasionally.
It was we were like waiting to tee off or something like that, and it just went bloop and like landed over like in the rough or like out of bounds, like next to us. And
There are some funky colours coming out of Japan actually, in golf balls and stuff. Glittery ones and stuff.
Yeah, I find them hard to see
Yeah.
against screen or
Yeah,
in the leaves and
me
things
too.
like that. I think white is still the best color.
Totally is actually.
Yeah,
Remember the black ones came out? The
yeah.
Nike ones?
Nike won. They had a Nike. Yeah, for a little while they had that.
black sounds rough.
Yeah, it was
Red is really easy to spot.
No, they're hard on the
So
eyes.
I find orange and those types of colors really hard to see.
soon
But
as-
other people, they love them. They find them easy to see. I don't get that.
I find that everybody who plays those balls can't find their ball. So I was like,
Oh,
did you see it? I don't know where it
Nah,
goes.
of course you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, my lost balls aren't really color.
Well, you use white golf ball. You're
I know
only
I
using Pro Vs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could be any color. Still
Have you
won't
used
find it.
any of you tried a Pro V in the yellow? Because they got a
Yeah.
Pro V.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
In the snow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Someone won with those a few months ago. Yellow Pro V1.
I know Rocco
Yeah, I was
Mediate
gonna say
uses a
Rocco
yellow,
Mediate, yeah.
Was it?
yellow ball. I don't know if it's a Titleist, but it could be. When I first came to Japan in 2010, and I think I've talked about it before, I caddied for Yuma, I was shocked at the amount of Japanese professionals who were using coloured balls. Because growing up, it was a thing that if you're going to be a good player, you don't use coloured golf balls, you use white golf balls. I'm standing there and they've got yellow and red, and some really good players are using coloured golf balls. I think it's gone away a little bit now.
Now it's just a fad, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I think the older guys do like a colour.
I think so. I think they
They'll
do.
switch over
Yeah.
because they can see it better.
They can see it better. It's often the bright yellow one.
The bright yellow. Rocco, did you see his comment actually about Colin Morikawa?
I know, he
Morikawa
ripped him
took
about-
second in the
Yeah, and didn't do the interview afterwards.
didn't do the interview, and
yeah.
then he said if Arnie was alive, Arnie would have come over and slapped him.
He would have too. He
Tore
wouldn't
a
have.
strip out
Yeah,
of
he
him.
wouldn't have left if Arnie was there.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and Colin called him out. He said, "Well, look, I don't know anything to anybody. If I wasn't feeling like I wanted to be interviewed, so I left."
Yeah, it's not a great.
Yeah, that's
look.
not
Rory
very
did the same
PGA,
thing
is it?
Just give me my million,
yeah,
my
that's
$1 million,
right.
and off I go.
Yeah,
That's not very PGA.
but they really got stuck into him. Brandel Chambly, and there was a couple of others on.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah,
I think Colin Morikawa is quite generous with his time. I think he does a lot.
I think he probably does. Yeah,
but he was just so.
yeah, he was pretty
Furious
distraught
with
about
himself,
that.
yeah.
About the
And you see
finish.
Scheffler making those comments about Liv as well.
What did he say?
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
just negative comments on the reason that we're not all together is because of Liv. And,
Yeah, but because they decided to leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why you can't get to see all the players all in one.
Like we know
Yeah,
that. Is
yeah.
there anything new? Jesus Christ, that's 3 years. You didn't get the memo from 3 years ago.
Hey, what
The
about
reason we're not playing together because they went to live. Really?
so?
Didn't know
This is
that.
big news in the golf world. Tiger Woods' new girlfriend, Vanessa
wow.
Trump. Do you know Vanessa Trump?
No.
So it's Donald Trump's son's ex-wife. He is now dating her, and it's on.
Wow.
I saw it this morning. It popped up, and it's
Let me
all
guess.
over the news.
White lady with blonde hair.
And yes, she's same age as him. He's 49. She might be
Sorry, what do you say?
47, 48. Just his type.
Yeah, like
That's his type.
Yeah,
Well done,
it is
man.
his type.
whose type, Trump or Tigers? Yeah.
Let's just let's ask ChatGPT what Tiger Woods' type of woman is.
What's exactly her?
He's doing it.
But they've announced it. And there was a whole bunch of pictures of them,
Oh, they
hugging.
announced
and,
it?
Yeah, they did. They announced
Yeah,
it.
they have to. Yeah.
And there was kind of a sick picture of them both lying down on like on some sort of bed with both with sunglasses on. Kind of
Oh, yeah, there is
snuggling.
too.
It's all very strange.
Let's more importantly, what's going on with Tiger's body? He did his Achilles.
Did his Achilles, yeah. And
Jesus
they don't know
Christ, man.
how he's done it, but I mean, you're just not walking around doing your Achilles. He's done something. And he had to go in for an operation, which was apparently a success. But yeah, his body's it's a mess, isn't it? The poor guy.
Yeah.
Can't take a trick.
Did you watch the full swing?
I've watched bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
Man, I think I have one more to go, but the one last night was Gary Woodland and his whole.
Oh, he had a brain tumor.
Brain
Yeah.
tumor. God, man, that's
Yeah, it's pretty full on.
Super
Gary
sad.
Woodland. Yeah, he's just sort of coming
won the
back.
US
and
Open
he's,
in like 2015 or something.
yeah, he won it at Pebble
2013,
Beach.
yeah.
A few years ago, and
Good player.
yeah, really good player. Been on the PGA Tour for a long time, and then had a brain tumor. It really obviously knocked him around, and now he's trying to come back.
Yeah, that's an amazing story to follow.
Hmm.
And Justin Rose is on the same
Oh yeah,
episode,
Hmm.
and that was actually really interesting because he nearly won the Open, only for Xander Schauffele just did a 6
he
under.
did too. Yeah,
Was it Troon? Yeah, did a 6 under round the Troon, like just
yeah.
was what it is. But I really like Justin Rose, and he was playing the T100s.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, same clubs I'm playing,
Okay,
trying to play.
there you go.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
So, Damon, what do you think? Damon's just googling Vanessa Trump.
He just put it. He
Oh,
has
did you?
ChatGPT open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's it say?
Yes, many of Tiger Woods' high-profile relationships have been with white blonde women. Here's a couple of examples. Ellen Nordegren.
Lindsay Vonn.
Yeah, that was his original wife.
That's his original
yeah,
squeeze. Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't mention, Miss Trump though. So.
Okay,
No,
so
it's
but
not
you can
up to
Google
date.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not up to date.
just
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah. No, she didn't look very happy when she was divorcing Junior.
right.
But yeah.
Oh God, that guy.
Yeah, Trump Jr.
Trump is ruining the world. Okay, see you next week. He gets him and Elon. People are setting your car on fire. You want to lock
The
that thing
charges.
away?
Yeah, what's all that about?
people love
People
corruption,
hating on
apparently,
Tesla
yeah.
at the moment. What's all that about?
No, it's because of what Musk, Elon's doing in the US.
Okay.
He's
trying
going
to-
after corruption and waste and
Yeah,
like trying
the
to
leftist.
cut the budget or
Well, I think it's-
reduce wasteful spending and stuff. And
The pair of them are causing the average Joe to be spending more on pretty much everything.
that's
From
not what
energy
people. That's
to
not what people
food.
are complaining about, though. Like nobody's like
Oh,
not,
really?
not that I've seen. Like nobody's complaining about that. They're complaining that it's like, oh, you're trying to take over control, and it's all just this sort of amorphous stuff. It's not based on like
They
what
do
they're
have
actually
control.
doing.
Don't they?
Well, yeah, but they're like so.
President. He's doing an executive order one every 5 seconds. But anyway, we'll save that for the politics in Japan podcast. Sorry, just want to needle you a bit there. An old Trumpist.
That was very good.
Oh no. I have another sound effect for later. Anyway, is anyone else dying from the Cafoon show?
Yep.
Caffeine
No,
Show,
I'm
Hay
okay.
Fever. I've got it for the first time last year. It wasn't that bad though, but this year it's. Well, I went completely bloodshot on Saturday. Walking in the park and then you're sneezing and.
See, we talked about in the last podcast. Damon sent that thing. I think it's on your Instagram of it all coming off one of the trees at Gatemba West.
Oh, yeah.
That was unreal.
It's
Like a
the tree
swarm
was
of
shedding.
like a swarm
That
of
was all
bees or
coming off
something.
one tree.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a lot worse than
Yeah, and you
that.
said it was worse than that. Yeah.
You just hear people sneezing all around the course.
Achoo!
Yeah, a lot of people wearing masks on golf
Action.
courses at the moment too, aren't there?
Isn't that what they say? Action! Any golf planned this week, next week?
No, nothing of note coming up. No.
Damon?
It's a throw up between you and me this Thursday for a golf partner. Hoping you're going to be able to do it. To be honest,
Oh, I would love to play this. Thursday's nice weather, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's got low 20s this whole week.
I think
That's perfect.
from Friday,
Tomorrow?
then Friday, Saturday, Sunday rain.
Oh,
Oh,
I think, but yeah, Friday, Saturday rain.
Ryan, any golf? Are you going to go back?
Well, when you ask me that, it kind of brings to mind a question that I was throwing around to people. I was saying, like, look, I'm playing these kind of cheaper courses, just trying to build up my experience. And so, should I go to a course where I know I can go around a few times and not spend that much, or should I go one that's nicer and it's not maybe like a full blown golf course, but you will need the driver, you will need more of the equipment. And people were telling me, like, get your reps in. Go to the ones where you can go around a few times.
Yep.
And I feel like I changed my mind on that because I feel like once you go there, it does get crowded and you get stuck with people. And it's not like you're able to just move around at your own pace. Like, you're going to be waiting on the groups in front of you and stuff like that. So you're not really going to be able to get the reps in the first place. Then there's no fear when you're just playing on these, like, little tiny,
Par 3 courses.
yeah, just these tiny little holes,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, okay, there you go. So I played at this one recently that we talked about earlier, and it was scary, when you're hitting from up high or you're trying to get up a hill or something like that, and you're worried about losing your ball or whatever. And then, so I kind of changed my mind, and I feel like maybe it's better to invest in a proper course where, you're going to have that fear or have those challenges.
Lose more balls, yeah.
Lose more balls, yeah.
yeah. There's nothing like playing on a proper golf course, 18 holes.
Yeah.
And maybe you're playing with your buddies and having a bit of a competition, so it matters. So you kind of have that little bit of pressure, and it's fun.
It's like an adventure.
But there is the thing where you need to practice. So going to the range or going to a par 3 course is good. Getting the reps in, but then ultimately it's practice for the main thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
The main event.
Yeah.
I want to do more simulator golf. I think that's
Yeah.
just for practicing in Tokyo. There's one like
TGO.
across the road. I'm thinking about doing it.
I just can't do the putting.
It doesn't work.
just
does
never
it?
works.
It doesn't
The
work.
putting doesn't work. Man.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what your living room's for.
Yeah, true.
That's right. But you can do it so that you don't have to put. It's just like get on the green and you go to the next one.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's good. Okay, well, without further ado, I think unless there's anything else anybody else wants to say,
No.
enjoy the cherry blossoms, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
See you next time.
week.
See you next time.
Cheers.